we already know who you are. We already know it. But like, I want to get into like Taylor Moore, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a show on my channel just a while back, basically chronicling like childhood traumas and stuff like that, and how does childhood mold you as an adult today. So I want to know, how did your childhood in particular mold you into the woman that you ended up becoming today?
Oh, like my childhood trauma or just my childhood in general?
In
The whole
general, I
thing?
mean, yeah, in general.
So this is the thing. A lot of people don't understand why I have this mentality, and I have to say this so it all comes all together. I was raised by grandparents. My mom kept me away from my dad. My mom was a very bad drug addict, in and out of rehab. And my dad, obviously, my mom kept me away from him. So I stayed with my grandparents. You know how moms are; they'll tell the grandparents things. My dad was like far away from that. So that's why I talk about the things that I do, because I had one, a 304 mom, two, a mom who kept me from my father, and I just got to see that growing up. So yes, I was in and out of foster care because of my mom. Yes, I did have a lot of trauma because of my mom. But if it wasn't for my grandparents, I don't think I'd be the person I was today. And to tie all this together, my older brother, he was 17 or 16 years old, and I rarely even talk about this, but he got a legally emancipated to where he can take
Mm,
custody of me because I was going to get adopted by some other lady. So that means I
hmm
wouldn't have been the Taylor I would have been today. I was going to get adopted by a Filipino lady. So, long story short, my brother took custody of me, started taking care of me, and that's another reason why I advocate for men as well. But yeah, I grew up with a lot of trauma. I grew up in LA. I was in fights. I had a lot of stuff happen to me as a kid. So, and I had a lot of anger towards my mom and a lot of, animosity towards her. So, as I grew up, I don't know, I got into therapy. I started working out. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I feel like a lot of women, they carry their trauma on their back as like a bad thing, but I think that's because they never healed from it and they blame every guy they've ever been with or people, my mom did this to me, my mom did that to me. I can't blame anybody for my trauma, man. Like even when I look at my mom now, I look at it from a godly perspective and understand like she could have only done what she could have done if she was a better mother without the drugs. You know what I mean? So that's all
hmm
the knowledge she had, and she wasn't going to be any better than that. So now that I'm older, all I can do for myself is thank my grandparents, thank my dad for being in my life, and then also understanding I can do whatever I can now to be the best mom and never repeat the same mistakes she did. So my trauma doesn't make me, man, and I've healed a lot. Like I don't even talk about some of my trauma. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't weigh deep. None of that, and it used to. So I've been in therapy for like a while now.
mm. Yeah, I mean that's a even though that was a general story, that was one hell of a story right there. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew a little bit of it before I came into the interview, but just hearing all of that, it's just like, wow, like you really like I said, you didn't go into any full details, you don't have to, but just
Yeah.
the fact that you went through that, and that's how you ended up becoming an advocate for men, or should I say that was one of the reasons you became an advocate for men. Like I said, man, it's just wow. And I mean, and it's a lot of people that's like in our community, the black community or whatever, like a lot of us were raised by our grandparents. I mean, of course you
Or
were, some were lucky to be raised by both parents, and then you got some that were just raised by the mom, and then you got some that was just raised by the dad. But a lot of us, especially like in the older range, we always been around our grandparents. Now, and it's just like we've always had stuff instilled in us from our grandparents. But the fact that you went through what you went through, and then, like I said, your brother could have literally took custody of you because you was about to get adopted by a Filipino family, which is I still can't wrap my head around that one. But
Mhm.
I mean, but like I said, man, and I see that has molded you into being the woman that you are today, and that is a admirable woman. And like I say, salute to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No doubt, no doubt. So, let me see. And on top of that, like, so how is your relationship with your brother these days? Y'all still talk?
Oh yeah, so I have five brothers and two sisters, and me and all my brothers, we still talk and stuff. I don't. My same thing with my sisters. I do have a sister on my dad's side, but we don't really talk like that because I met her later in life. But me and my sister are very close. Me and my grandma are still close. My grandpa, passed away. But the rest of my family, they're still there. My brothers are still cool and stuff. But they live their own life. They older than me. They got families, or some of them are just chilling. So yeah.
I feel that. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I've always been the type to have like, family should be everything. So
Of
the
course.
fact that you still or having like great relationships with your family. Because, like I said, not a lot of people still have that, especially in this crazy society we live in. Because I mean, most people would turn against you just because of your opinions. But the fact that you still have good connections, a good, relationships with your people, like I said, that's always good to hear. Like seriously.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for that. Honestly, I'm glad because I've seen a lot of content creators like Sneeko, and a lot of them say that their family and friends like they disown them or don't talk to them. My friends send me videos. They'll be like, "Hey, look at this girl. Do this and send it to me." My family really like tries to help me with my videos and stuff like that. Like my little brother was watching one of my debates and stuff, and he sent me like a big screenshot of it. So my family is super supportive in that sense, which I really love. I don't have anybody that's like, "I can't stand your content. That's enough. We can't talk." Hell no. What kind of friends are those or family is that? Mm-mm.
Hmm.